Happy Friday. So what we have here is an update to the New Jersey install, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a walkthrough here. So we're not quite done, but we're getting a lot closer. So here we have a tipping hopper. They're running a lot of brass here, so taking the tipping hopper, dumping it into the vibratory feeder. From there, conveyor up into the impact mill. And that's the impact mill right there, 125 horsepower. And from the impact mill, we have a vibratory feeder underneath that with a stainless steel front and a overbed magnet. And here there's a picking line, and this is optional. We can do this with optical sorters, but they chose to use, in different sorters too, you're using a picking line. And they're doing faucets right now. That's the end product. Irony brass, basically. So they're pulling out all the steel. And here we have a pit conveyor. So the idea here is from this here we can put a plate in, and everything will slide right into here. So if they're not running brass, if they're running meatballs or small transformers, or if they're running lighting, lighting ballast that have copper inside, the steel will get pulled off, and then everything else will go into this pit conveyor and will go on and through the chopping line. So the nice thing about this setup here is they can come in from both ways. Back here we still have a bunch of our boxes, but once this is clear, you'll be able to take a skid steer or an excavator and push it right into the pit here, up the pit conveyor into the shredder. And we don't have the hopper on the shred right now. We're modifying it. We had to change some height here and raise it up, so we have to change the height on that. So that's getting modified this week. From there up the conveyor, and that's a 150 horsepower high torque slow speed shredder. Up the conveyor, and this is what's really cool about this setup. There's a transition we're gonna have here next week, but he has the option of going in the granulator or in the vertical impact mill. The reason for that is if you're doing Romex, THHN, the high grade type wire, you're going to go right into the granulator. If you're doing something that has, it's more abrasive, some low grade wires that have adapters, chargers, that type of stuff, it's going to damage your blades very quickly. So in those instances, in the lower grade materials, you're going to use the vertical impact mill. It gives you very similar result as, or the output is very similar as a granulator. It breaks the material down a little bit more. It creates a little more heat, which is why you can't do as much pounds per hour in a vertical mill as in a granulator. But the maintenance is a lot less, and you can just keep running it. From there, it's going to go up and over into the zigzag separator, and all the heavies are going to fall down at the bottom of the zigzag here, right here. And all the lights are going to go up into this dosing hopper. Because of sealing height here, we had to engineer something a little different. We had to do a dual cyclone system to be able to handle all the air. There wasn't enough sealing height to put one big cyclone. And so all the fines are going to go into this dosing hopper right here. Now from the dosing hopper, it's going to go into the turbo mill, and this is where the lighting's pretty poor. The turbo mill is going to sit right here. So we're going to slide this turbo mill here. All the material is going to go into the turbo mill, all the lights. So the heavies have already been pulled out. Lights into the turbo mill. From there, after they've been turbo milled, we're going to go up and over into the second dosing hopper that's right here behind me. And from there, into the C5 separator, and from the air separator here is we're going to get the clean copper up front, and the middlings or tailings, depending on what type of material they're running, is going to fall down here in the back of the C5. This is a C5 separator, and from the back of the C5 we're going to have a tube going up and over into the C4 back here. So that's that. And and all the plastic and garbage is going to go back into here, onto this hopper here, and we're gonna have the option of going right out into a dumpster with all the plastic, all the garbage. And this here is the the end conveyor where all the chops are going to come out. There's a magnet on that to make sure that your chops are clean. So that's that. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and sorry it was quick. We got a lot of work to do today. It's Friday, and we're hoping to beat traffic here in New Jersey on our way home. So trying to get everything done before we head back. But have a good weekend. Stay tuned.